All right, my friends, welcome back to the Swain Baddie League. I am founder, ex-commissioner, and executive chairman of the board, AJS0, and I am here with a star-studded casting booth. The man you know and all love very dearly, the other ex-commissioner of the group, Mr. 30 himself. And in addition, bringing y'all a tri-cast tonight, we've got a first-time SBL caster joining us here. The one, the only 420 Bong Crank 69, a.k.a. Mahatma Grande, a.k.a. Max. Max, how you doing, man?
I am quite okay, AJS0. I'm hyped for some bad League of Legends tonight. It's going to be fantastic. All right. As we can see, a Salt ban, gotta respect it. Still feels very much pick ban in this league. What are you feeling about the rest of these bans, 30?
Feeling pretty good. I see the Zac targeted at Cax last week. Obviously, he played the Zac 7-5 and 15. Pretty good performance from him, honestly, from a rough start to a great finish on that tank jungler.
For sure, for sure. He played a very clean Zac against our team, and I think that's absolutely the right call, cutting him off that champion. You know, it's easy enough that we have enough one tricks in this league where you can pull off a decent game on one champion, but then when you see that happen, make him have it again. Pick him on another champion.
Yeah, and this is a thing we've seen so many times in the SBL where somebody joins and we don't know them that well, and like people just let them have their champion over and over and over and over and over. And a lot of players, it can be pretty neutralized when you take away the one thing that really works with their play style as well as their team's play style. So that's going to be one of the big things I'm keeping an eye on this game. Is that going to be the case for Cax, or does he just not give a fuck? Is he gonna play well on this Trundle or other jungler potentially?
Yeah, looks like it might be the Maokai jungle for him. I believe that's something I've seen him play in the solo queue. But I wanted to touch on Tarek, Chai Tea Drinker. The first pick overall in this draft was Tarek.
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy to me.
and I'm happy that I also wanted to hone in on that, because that's the thing when talking to some of the players on this team, talking to some of the players that played against this team, this is the champion that's come up where they're like, yeah, this is probably his best champion. This is probably going to be his go-to a lot. And the fact that they first picked this, I kind of lines up with the things I've been hearing. So offering that counter pick over to Tree, who's gonna get the Thresh here, gonna have a lot. I'm gonna be very interested to see how that bot lane goes.
Yeah, that bot lane has the potential to get real spicy with the way Tree was landing hooks last week and the way that Tarek has shown his ability to impact team fights so meaningfully. When you have arguably the two best solo lane carries on the same team, this could get massive for either team if either one of them starts popping off.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to highlight, because unfortunately, Riot Games and Champion Select here, we're only seeing enemy 1 through 5 on the red side currently, is that there is currently Tank Axe in the lineup. There is no Salvo. Salvo actually opting to make the best team play he could possibly make by having himself hospitalized today to ensure that there was no drama in putting himself on the bench. So shout out to Salvo making his first play of the season here.
That's really a heads up teamwork for him.
Shout out to Salvo and his family.
Shout out to Salvo, who is actually in the hospital, by the way, in case that did not come through. Had some surgery today. I'm not just making that up. But this was something I did want to see out of this team. I wanted Flex Panther to kind of give the Tank Axe lineup a try, because I think this is a team that they're just feeling a lot of pressure right now. They lost both their preseason games. They lost last week, although there was the high expectations. But like, at some point, you got to get a win early to convince yourself you have a chance. Because if you just start with too many losses in a row, it can really kind of destroy a team atmosphere. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure on this team, even though they've only played one regular season game.
Yeah, you definitely got to be feeling like now's the time to make a move, especially if you're against a team where you have two very good solo laners yourself, and the power of the enemy they're facing is very much concentrated in Thrifty Senpai and Dario Chopman. If you can get either one of those solo lanes rolling in your favor, it puts a lot of pressure on a very inexperienced bot on the other side, and that can tilt the game out of control very quickly.
So going to be some pretty iconic picks to round out the roster here for Tizzy and the Smash Bros. We've got the two superstars going to Victor and Set. This Set scares the shit out of me, man. That's just kind of that.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a great last week too. 8-5-10 on that champ. Yeah, this is like kind of up his alley, I feel like. This is exactly the type of champ that Dario suits extremely well. And also Tizzy picking Kai'Sa again this week. So two champs I think are excellent pickups that they're able to get again this week. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mentality. And I'm liking the team comp from Tizzy and the Smash Bros.
Yeah, kind of settling into some of the things they're good with here. Um, so should have not a lot of pressure on themselves. They should feel pretty comfortable going in trying to execute.
There's going to be a lot of pressure on Tree this game to be able to peel for his team in team fights. Because one thing I'm seeing is that there's going to be a lot of difficulty keeping all the carries away from the other side. So I'm thinking Tree could totally make this happen. Tree is insane on Thresh. As long as the rest of the team uses what they have to peel accordingly too, like the Trundle pillar, they could potentially win fights, especially with these Jinx and Veigar that they're just going to be scaling super hard into the late game.
Yeah, super curious to see what this team is able to set up as they get to that point. Obviously, they've got a lot of kind of death ball-y potential here with the Malphites just charging in and trying to out 5v5. But as we know in the SBL, you rarely hit that stage of the game with all things equal.
True, true. I'm excited for the team fights that are going to come out of this one. These are going to have some absolutely crazy team fights between Set, Alt, Malphite, Alt, Taric, Alt. It can get real crazy.
So I am not as versed in the bot lane as I once was, despite having played it last season. 30. If you're going up against this Chai Tizzy lane, if you're going up against the Taric and the Kai'Sa, what do you feel like going into that matchup? Is that going to be a pretty weak laning phase lane, or do you think it's going to be kind of even?
I think it is weaker for the Tara Kai'Sa. Maybe if I take nameplates off, it's a little bit more even than I think it is. But Tark is extremely good at just sort of negating engages, right? He's kind of like Renata Glass in that aspect. So anything like if Tree lands a hook and Tark already has that sun lined up, sort of a disengage right there. And I think Tizzy and Chai, they're just gonna look to farm this one out. Any kind of kills or like snowball advantage to to Tree and Lazy Lass, I think this game is gonna get off the rails real quick.
Yeah, that's going to be a big part of what I'm watching for. Obviously, everything we've said kind of in the draft and before the season started it still applies for Tizzy and the Smash Bros. This team, at some point, I just expect to see someone be able to run over Chai and Tizzy. And I think there's a lot of pressure on Tree and Lazy Lads, who are supposed to be, Tree is allegedly in some of the peak form he's ever been in. Lazy Laz, potentially going to be one of the contenders for a top player in the SBL. At some point, it's got to actually happen, though. It can't just all be, you know, people's perception of you. Like, you have to go and, like, do the thing inside the game. And it's been a slower season for that bot lane than I think they would have hoped. And if you're going to kind of right that ship at some point, like, this is the SBL. A lot of games are going to be determined heavily by like who just runs through laning phase, and this really feels like the game where they're built to do that. So I do think there is some pressure on them to execute into, like you said, what might not be a super easy thing to get rolling on. Where if you land a hook, Jai can just kind of negate it with the Taric stun. So direct the camera typically favors the bottom lane. I'm excited to hopefully see plenty of it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, this is like you said earlier, this is the 0-1 start for Flex Panther, 1-0 start for Tizzy and Smash Bros. So, and they both have double headers tonight, I believe.
Yep, because
So
every team has to get to 3 games.
yeah, so that's the momentum. Like tonight, these two teams, Tizzy and Smash Bros. Tons of expectations. I mean, I guess Blown starting the season with the 1-0, but can they continue it? Right? They in their heads might be thinking they're better than they actually are, and vice versa for Flex Panther. So. Yeah, but I definitely agree. Flex Panther, way more pressure on them this game.
So, Bonkrank, you're a player who has experience being worse than Mad Cow, playing a tank into Mad Cow.
Oh, yeah.
Take us into the mind of a top laner, specifically thinking into the mind of Thunder going into this game. Obviously, Thunder, probably the second best top laner guy we've seen some good things out of, but kind of what's the experience like?
For sure. So the thing with Mad Cow, or sorry, Dario Chopman, if you will, here is he sees blood. He smells blood. This man only sees red when he's in the top lane. Any chance he has to fight you or poke you or whatever, he's going to take it. So you're going to have to fight and scrap for every CS, but the key there is to not play scared. Don't give him his stuff for free too. Do your best to space him and fight back. You just have to claw for everything because he will not let you have a damn thing for free.
All right, and as we are chatting here, I did finally get into the game. Do I not have game sound turned on? That would be problematic. Let's fix that up, folks. I'm currently, if you have not seen characters moving yet, I'm currently 20, 21, 22 seconds and counting. So
in sync over here.
Yep.
Gotta love playing about this plenty. As we do see these teams all kind of going for, a defense. Oh, we're not stepping out. Gonna potentially be seen there. Although I don't know, might have been too far out. Long-winded way of saying Flex Panther going for the invade defense here, but I don't think anything is gonna get snuffed out.
Yeah, I guess you know, both teams have an okay level one.
Set doesn't have items. Set doesn't have items.
Oh no,
That's
Chopin.
Maybe this is just some roundabout flex.
No, I will not. I will not give that to him. That's a potentially really costly mistake here. And we were just talking about this top lane matchup. Well, now, like, the whole thing is that he gets rolling early and often, and that's going to be completely handicapped here.
I mean, he still has some decent regen from his passive, but even without Doran Shield to at least mitigate some of the Pocus Malphite's going to be dishing out, that lane can get rough in a heartbeat.
Also, a reminder, if you haven't, turn on chat objective timers, Control-Shift-Z. I zoomed out a bit ago, but I forgot about the other things. Call from potential spam. I should just pick up and say something. Oh, we're flipping the phone over. Professional. My old age,
I'm on broadcast right now.
In my old age, I've become a professional.
All right, here is the level 2 bot lane. No, not yet. That's just the first wave still. But Tizzy and Chai backing up. They are respecting Tree, which is a good thing when he's on Thresh.
And Dario is getting the early push in the top. The one thing I'm curious about here, it's entirely possible that Thunder doesn't know that Dario doesn't have items. If you're not paying attention on tab, oh, here we go, though. A hook going very wide, but the flag gonna go. A lot of skill shots gonna go wide here, so it's just gonna be some damage taken by Chai and Tizzy.
Yeah, still a good overall trade, though, for the Flex Panther bot lane there. The aggression is there from Tree and Lacy Last. They know the win condition here.
Yeah, and I do like this decision to just kind of be pushing, because that might be a way for them to generate some advantage. Here we go, Ignite's coming out, heals being popped, hook going wide again, but oh, and the W from Jinx also going wide, but that's a lot of damage onto the Kai'Sa.
Yep, he'll expend it for Tizzy and Ignite down for Tree, but I think you always will take that trade if you're on the red side here.
Yeah, and they just saw the Maokai pathing through mid towards top side as well, so Tree and Lazy Lives should know they're pretty free down here. This is going to be one of the most important few minutes of the game for Chai and for Tizzy.
And depending on whether or not Trundle makes a move up here on top, it could potentially help equalize or put Thundercunt ahead in this lane here, where he should have been a little more aggressive early, but now he's got a chance to come back, but that ward's going to spot him out, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, nice early ward there from Dario, and he's actually going to take an opportunity for an early back to get some items.
In the bot lane, another summoner being low on the Kai'Sa, now summoner-less.
Big respect, Flash.
Yeah, this could get very interesting. If Tank X starts putting some pressure down here, you know, he has a lot of options. He can go through the lane, he can go through the river. There's not going to be any vision established by Chai and Tree. And this bot lane, I mean, they're already, you know, slowly but surely going to be pressuring plates. They're already accruing a sizable CS lead here, up over a wave in this first opening minutes.
And they're just having their way with bot. Like, they're just pushing into turret at will. There's not a whole lot they can do to stop them here. Just kind of outranged on both fronts.
Oh, and that was a beautiful CC chain, and that's so much damage. so close to a kill, and I think that has to be the curtain call for Tizzy and Chai to finally recall.
Whew. Well, yeah, I mean, Chai sort of stepping in front there to take the hook for Tizzy, which the chompers though, the chompers combo, that's gonna be so deadly down here, and it forced the flash earlier from Tizzy. So the CC combo from the Assassin Tree is very good right now.
Yeah, a substantial gold lead here as they're going to maybe push one more wave. Already up about 400 gold in this bottom. I should probably hold this on the screen for more than just a split second here.
Thankfully, Dario's been doing a bit of a good job to help counteract that gold deficit going bot lane, because he's already amassed a 350 gold lead on top here just without items. So I'm assuming he backed at this point.
Yeah, he backed and teleported to lane. Did force a matching TP out of Thunder, just because he's got this constant lane push here. And we do see junglers on the bot side. Everyone kind of setting up in the Dragon Pit. Maybe going to just be taken by Flex Panther for free here. Cax kind of going in for a contest. There is a teleport coming out of Renai, but this is going to be a 4 versus 3 potentially for Tizzy and the Smash Brothers if they can get the flanks in here as I'm commentating the mini map, because Spectator's finally going to send us back to Dragon. Now will Tree take the hook? Blue team going to get the Dragon. Well done, Tizzy. Can any kills come out here?
Ooh, that was fairly risky. Cax did not have smite at all for that. So, hell yeah, they're walking back. Nice.
Yeah, that was just a bit of a overcommitment by Flex Panther. They thought they had the control of the pit. They did not have as much control as they hoped for, given some timings that folks were on, specifically Renai being in base there. As Thrifty was pushing, kind of turned it into a 4v3. They had to give up a low health Dragon, and even though, you know, they weren't starting it on Cax's terms, they were able to just walk in and secure it. So well done, Tizzy and the Smash Brothers there. Good comps.
Oh, Thunder just missing Dario there. Trying to stop the back, I assume.
Close.
Yeah, you know, talking about Blab for nice circulation on the Vigar. I mean, it's not the first champ I think of when I think of Blab, but maybe it should be? What do you guys think about this pick?
I think it's a neat pick. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he recently had a buff that increased the range of his Q, correct? So that gives an ability to fight this victory with probably a little more effect than he would have otherwise. And we've seen the power of scaling comps already this season in SBL. If you get one champion that scales as hard as something like, say, Asol or Vigor does, your team always has a chance.
Yeah, and I Twitch chat can maybe fact inform me here, but I'm under the impression that Vigar's fairly high on the win rate and fairly high on the tier list for the mid lane currently. I know I've even seen a little bit of it in LCS, not that I've been watching a ton of LCS, but I think Vigar, you know, is traditionally kind of a weak champ at more points than not. But, like, definitely, oh my god, that hook from downtown onto Tizzy. It's only going to be damage, but great shot. Although Chai is going to walk, and everyone's walking into everything. Forces a heal here. Chai going to block the super mega death rocket. That's actually really key here, as now Maokai's coming towards, but I think this fight's fully disengaged.
Yeah, not level 6 yet, but man, if he was 6, I think he just pops the ult there, but he is still going down here in the bottom lane. The stun is going to land on a tree. There's the root. Yeah, and this is going to be first blood finally, 8 minutes into the game for Tizzy and the Smash Bros.
Yeah, and that one, not fucking around with a chance of a flash out, even though I think they could have given that over to the Kaisa. But yeah, just an overcommitment without vision there, and that's now all of the good things you've done are undone a bit after that one.
Yeah,
that's got to feel like a huge setback, especially after the way they started this game. You could not have had a better start out of them with how hard they pushed him in the turret and how much gold they took away from them. But it's okay. Tiny gold lead. Nothing in an SBL game. Absolutely nothing.
So Thunder going aggressively, wants to set up for Trundle here out of the river, and Dario gonna need some real magical moves to make it out of this one. I do not think it's gonna be happening, and there we go, a kill going over to the Trundle.
That's big. The more you can take Dario Chopman off the map this game, the better your chances are to win.
Yeah, that was a great timing out of Thunder there. Just kind of really ulted at the perfect time to ensure there was no getting away for Dario. There's definitely, we've seen some more timid Malphites over the years that would have waited for him to get closer, but getting close is Tree's hook to Tizzy's face, going to put Lazy Laz on the board, and this could turn into a huge advantage. Kill on the Jinx, about to be a third turret plate, massive CS lead, already 1,000 gold advantage in this bot lane, despite the mistake overstaying earlier.
That was perfection. Absolutely clean hook, flay, chomps, rocket, dead combo. And it turns out the ADC is not so tanky when the Tarek's not around. Great job capitalizing on that from their bot lane, and that's what we call getting one back.
So 30, as a bot lane player, a current bot lane player, not a retired piece of trash like myself, what are you thinking if you're Tarek Kaisa coming back from base right now? Kind of what is your mentality here?
Play extremely aggro and bait some 3v3. Like Cax, if he was down here right now, I would feel pretty good about that 3v3 fight actually, if played well. Like, you know, having them come into you, I should say. And I don't think that's happening right now. Looks like Flex Panther pushing forward, trying to get vision for this dragon that is about to be up here, and they're flanking Cax. So we're watching top lane. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. And it's going to actually force a really valuable flash out of Cax. He's got some decent footwork here, though. And a fat ult of the Maokai. A lot of damage on a tree. Maybe not going to be enough. But here we go. Super Mega Death Dragon. Cax so low. Cax so no on the health bar. And now we do see a teleport. A very far back teleport. Interrupted by the cunt. And now Dario Chopman being dodged around. That shield is ticking down. Can Thunder possibly get a chase here? There's no flash on the Chopman. There is going to be a slow. There's going to be a pull. But I don't think it's enough. It happen? It's, oh no, he's faster. He has the boots. Can the slow get him? I think Chopman, oh, he's out. Thunder doesn't want to risk the tower dive.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts, Thunder. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
But that was a great ult to capitalize there. Nearly get away with the kill and force Dario Chopman out of lane yet again.
Yeah, so if we rewind a bit, that fight all started with some aggression from Flex Panther moving into that jungle, getting the flank onto Cax, who's caught out, has to blow the flash, but still goes down in the end. Meanwhile, 3v2 in the bot lane. Cax is nearby though, Tree getting low. Here's the Tarek ult to ensure safety. Cax really going for it here. Gonna go in, gonna go root Tree, but he has to run back. The double play. Tarek's done, Chai's gonna go down. There's the first kill. Lazy Lads with a reset. He's going, he's getting excited. There's the
beautiful.
There's the kill. There's the double.
Absolute.
Oh my god, that stopwatch was filthy.
Just a brilliant fight out of Tree and Lazy Lad. Some real limit testing there by Tree to go in aggressively at low health to really secure a fight that they have every reason to feel confident in. And all of the moves landing for Flex Panther in that fight. And they're going to get their 4th plate in this bot lane, continue stacking this advantage.
That's gonna have to feel good if you're a Flex Panther fan or player on this team. Feeling really good about your chances this game. 3-0-1 Jinx on Lazy last year. This is great.
It's a bit of a shame too, because Chai played the start of that encounter under turret really well. Landed the double stun, had the ult to force them to back off. It looked like they might be able to turn it around, but then just, whew, the plays coming out of Flex Panther, turning that one around.
Yeah, really just not knowing when to give up on things in a fight that I thought they had successfully disengaged all of the bad things happening to them. And then, as happens to League of Legends players, they think, what if we turn?
I agree. Yeah, that felt like a very classic, like, oh no, we got this. Their abilities are down. Keep going. But they should have not kept going.
You know, believe in our strength.
This makes me think of last season playing with, you know, Thrifty and Splitter, and like just the goal was to go even in bot lane every game where I'm just screaming, Joey, don't go! But speaking of going, Thunder going to go under his tower here off of the Thrifty Realm. That's a major ult forced out here. As now Chai maybe caught in no man's land. Welcome to pre-made, my friend Reno. Some bad ults coming through here, but it's not going to matter. Renai Circulation puts himself on the board, and Chai with absolutely no respect for the state of the map here.
They did blow 2 ults there to get him, though. That's kind of rough, no?
A little bit, yeah, but will it matter here? 3v3 over the Herald. Trundle is gonna get locked up and set smash to the ground. Chopman with the shutdown, and they get the Herald. The chase continues. Meanwhile,
Tizzy?
bottom lane.
Tizzy?
Out
What?
in the middle of nowhere. Very questionable flash there. Lazy Last on the rampage.
Oh, 30, you're too polite. That flash wasn't questionable. There are no questions to be asked about that absolute trash summoner spell. A huge mistake out of the most important summoner in the game, maybe? Oh, and it's not over. Chai picking up right where we left off. No respect for the map. Your ult is not enough to save you, little support. And again, welcome to the SBL.
Oh boy, that's a big bundle of sadness right there if you're Chai. Didn't even get the ult to land. Dies at the last second before it connects for the insult to the injury.
Oof.
And that's just, you know, maybe a learning experience moment here for the Tizzy and the Smash Brothers bot lane. But that's, well, we maybe don't even have time here. Dario, no health, no problem. He's going to run in for this 2v1. He is a tanky man up in the top lane. Thunder going to ult defensively, only to waste time. Dario not going to give it to him. And Thunder going to take the consolation prize, forcing the kill over to the Maokai instead of the Set at least.
Did Set use his W earlier? Oh.
And just non-stop action. Lazy Laz on the flank here with his jungler. Just gonna force pressure, but nothing coming of it, finally.
I see we still try to keep directed camera on its toes, as always. But yeah, I thought Set used his W earlier in that encounter, and that maybe Malphite had an ult to turn, like a window to turn an ult in there, just blow him up. Maybe he goes 1 for 1, but at least he doesn't die for nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
flash.
that's true.
Oh my god, the gold, the gold, the gold. 3,200 is the advantage for Lazy Laz's Jinx in this game. And, you know, it's the SBL, man. But that absolutely can be insurmountable in a lot of times.
The lead is definitely not insurmountable if SBL history is any indicator. But you really hate to see a lead like that on a scaling comp like this at 16.5 minutes.
Yeah, the gold being in the right places is such an important thing here. Tree, for once, with a 7 in the assist bar and not the kills. Very, very core. Only a couple of kills onto the Trundle. Just a lot of pressure on Dario because he's the most ahead person. I mean, looking back at the gold here, he's not even really that far ahead. He's actually feeling the pressure. These mid-game trades going in the favor of the Malphites.
Yeah, he just hit level 11 too, so Malphite's got XP on him too.
Oh!
Death.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's gigantic.
After the timidness Thunder was playing with earlier, so happy to see him playing with balls full of balls here, as his balls maybe are going to shrivel up, has to flash out of this one. And that may not be enough. Thrifty with the ghost to follow, going to pop a lot of moves on the Thunder, and Thunder realizes he has to turn, but it's not going to happen. Thrifty with the solo kill, but at what cost?
Thrifty Senpai, if there's anyone in this league I know who will avenge a fallen comrade faster than you can save Victor, he's gonna run his ass up to your lane and he is gonna do your opponent dirty, just like he ran that Malphite down. And I guarantee you Thundercump didn't see it coming. He had no idea that damage was gonna get put out there.
So, all coming out here is they're just really trying to pressure this tower. I was gonna say, key for Tizzy and the Smash Brothers, they did at least get a tier 1 in the top lane, so they at least have something opened up on this map, but just really great plays around the map here for Flex Panther, kind of in the right spot at the right time a lot. I guess if there's any solace here for Tizzy and the Smash Bros, it's that there's only 2 dragons on the side of Flex Panther right now. They're not up like on 3 dragons about to force a soul point, so they do have a lot of time to stall if they're able. But there are so many tools to, you know, just tower dive for Flex Panther. But maybe they're going to try to look for picks here instead.
Yeah, this is getting a little dicey here in the bottom. River 3 for Flex Panther. They're here to receive the Herald, who will maybe not even make it to tower.
Yeah, good.
Oh, no. Yeah. Is that just a good read from Flex Panther to move down there?
Yeah.
Where was the Herald spawned? I guess.
It was bot tier 3. I assume it was about to run out on timer, so it was one of those just kind of had to toss it out. But yeah, I really liked that decision for Flex Panther.
Yeah, deny the objective bounty. I mean, that's the only way that TSB and Smash Bros are going to get back into this is start taking those tier 1 towers, get some gold back, and open up the map, and then start fighting for these dragons.
For sure. I think the key here for TSB and the Smash Bros is to just play for team fights. We haven't really had their team play any 5v5s yet, and this comp looks absolutely filthy for a big fat skirmish in the middle of the map. Get ready to look for it come the mid game.
Yeah, a lot of prow should be around the Baron here, and Renai,
There it is.
really good flash there. You know, is there a minuscule chance that he maybe can bait something out and walk away? I guess, but like, you're just in don't throw territory right now. No need to take any risks, and I love that decision from Renai.
Yeah, one flash W from Maokai, and it's over. And then you die, mid tower, tier 1 goes down, and then that's how they get back in.
Now we'll see here in this top lane. Thunder does have his ult available. Maybe not going to use it, although the Chopper's going to force the pressure. I think they actually should play that a lot more aggressively as Lazy Laz nearly gets a solo kill.
Ooh, Victor was here. Thrifty's gonna be able to help clear the wave. Actually, 4 or 5 strong for TSB and the Smash Bros as they move on way. Cax and Takeax meeting in the river.
Renai does have a teleport available, and that. Oh no, Tizzy! 0-3 in the blink of an eye, and I don't think we're done here. Tree doing so much to zone people away from Lazy. They're trying to get on the Jinx, a really good flash, and now a big Terra Cult is gonna buy some time here. But is there enough health available on the side of Tizzy and the Smash Bros? Lazy does getting more autos off here on whoever he can. Cax has gone in past the point of no return. His team peeling out. Cax gonna throw his life away. And Renai, who needs to teleport when you can just win the 5v4?
Oh man, that is so unfortunate. You finally got the situation you wanted. A big fight opportunity. Looked like you might have a catch. End up losing a 5v4 in the situation when Viger's not even there dealing damage. Oh, I cannot feel good.
Yeah, now they're gonna really try to force us a good stun onto Thrifty, and that buys. Wait a second, Tizzy! What in the flying blue fuck did you think you were going to accomplish there with just your Kraken Slayer?
I can't help but feel that she was the engage tool there. That was like, I'm just gonna force my body into it, and hopefully we can kill Renai circulation.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen. Oh no.
That was folks, as a Kaisa, as a little bit of a Kaisa enthusiast, that you don't want to do that as Kaisa. You're not Malphite, you're not set. You don't get to just go in on the back line and pop people. You kind of need to wait for the fight to get chaotic, and then you jump in like a predator in the jungle. You know, kind of catching the person that's out of position, that's already lost some of their tools. You can't just jump in at the start of the fight into a whole team like that, especially not when you are 0-3-1.
Well, what do we got? 7k gold lead for Flex Panther. So, well, I mean, they could break the record. Well, what was our lead last week? 6k? And then we lost?
Yeah, something like that.
So this is still throwable, I think. I think we're in that realm. Maybe not anymore. Lazy Laz is gonna get his 6th kill of the game. Tree actually gonna get caught up by the gang squad here, but never mind. He splashes out to safety. The Maokai roots are coming for him, but he's gonna dodge all of them.
I think they can turn this though. Thunder's here, and it's a 2-man on in the back line. Can they get the kills? Tree is gonna go down to Dario, as Dario is doing the set thing, but not enough of it. Thunder has not given a single fuck. No boots, no problem. He is forcing a flash out of Tizzy. Can his team get there, or will this fight be disengaged? Another fight engaged. Well, another pick engaged on Flex Panther's terms. And that's really the story of a lot of this game. It's just pick city. If you give up the picks, you're gonna give up a lot of things.
And I almost feel like at this point, the Smash Bros, they just gotta force the issue, right? Like, you're behind to a comp that just wins this game if you sit there and do nothing and just farm. So you gotta make something happen, but man, it just seems like they can't ever get one of these to break their way. That turnaround from the Malphite was huge. disgusting ult from Thundergun.
Yeah, and you can see Flex Panther are playing with cocks full of confidence in this game. They know that they're big. They know that they're a problem. And they're not going to just sit around and, sometimes in the SBL, you see a pick on the Chai and you think, oh my god, what if this team's there? No, they're not. They know they can fight their way out of situations if they go sideways. And it's going to be very hard for something to truly turn upside down on them.
Yep, Black Panther coming in with the death blow, I think. 5 mid, Baron buff activated. Inhibitor tower already down. This is mid inhib for sure. And they rotate to one of these waves. Hopefully it's going to crash in top or bottom. But maybe not. Maybe they got to go pick it up. Dragon is up in 2 minutes still, so nothing really there.
Yeah, that's great timing on the Dragon cycle for Flex Panther because it lets them play out this Baron push and then worry about Dragon after. They don't have to go into one of those situations where they're like not sure which of the 2 objectives to go for and potentially make a mistake. They get to just push the hell out with this Baron buff, crack as much of the base as possible, and then afterwards they can rotate over to Dragon kind of on tempo.
Yeah, this should work out very, very well, and they're going to keep going. Going to push up, try to get the inhibitor tower here. I mean, the go button's got to be pressed here from Dizzy and Smash Bros, right? If they commit to it, but it looks like they are not.
Yeah, so we'll see here. Just kind of stalling things out as hook going wide. Terrible view on the direct to camera. There you go, Chopman gonna the do or die, going in very deep, and he is going to pop Lazy Laz here. Can his team now get this fight? The kills are still going back the other way. Tizzy a little too far forward there, and Tizzy and Chopman are down. And Renai looks like enough of a DPS there. Thunder flashing defensively while his team is mopping up. Tank X running forward. Renai and Thunder mopping up on this backline more or less is now Cax being collapsed on. And that was another sussy Baka flash out of the Maokai. A 1-for-4 here. And man, if you just gib the super fed carry like that and still lose the fight decisively,
means you're down a lot of gold.
Too late.
Yeah.
So 2 inhibitors broken. I think we're going to see the slow, steady play here out of Flex Panther. They're going to take their recalls. They're going to go get Dragon. They're going to walk into bot lane. A super clean situation. And this team is not a team full of monkeys. They know how to handle the basic situations with some decent intellect on that team.
Yeah, I think at this point you've pretty well demonstrated that your team is miles ahead, and it's only going to get worse as time goes on. Just tighten the noose slowly but surely. This one is done as long as you don't do anything egregiously dumb.
Yep, should be a methodical closeout here. I saw that Lazy Laz on the Jinx got a stopwatch this fight, so just another tool to keep surviving. If Lazy Laz once again takes all that engage, but there's
time for a hero fight.
Stopped, and now they go in for the fight. Red team is slaying the Dragon. Chapman trying to reach the backline, but they are all peeling and they're killing him. There goes another one. Renai circulation, deathless, 5 kills for him. Thrifty's gonna go down, and that's gonna be the game.
Yeah, Thunder trying to go for the throats here. Does not intercept anybody on that TPM, but he's getting this wave set up for his team. And I think we're gonna see a walk in the mid lane. Cax gonna try to stall here, but teleport coming in. Renai went to base for a moment to pick something up here. And now they're gonna, oh man. Welcome to prison, Cax. Your punishment, death. And these waves gonna be walked in. Chai and Chopman are kind of close on the spawns here. Lazy doesn't have a lot of health, but he does have that stopwatch. I don't think it's going to matter, and it is not. No, they're gonna stat pad a little bit. You gotta do that. We got a stat sheet available, and Flex Panther going to have that losing streak kind of come to a halt here. Just a very, very well played game across the board.
They got the big win they were looking for. This is exactly the momentum they needed. There was a tiny slip up at the front, but they've more or less played a super clean game all the way through.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, and that's a good way to start their night. They have a second game coming up. It's going to be game 3, so we got a little bit, another game in between.
Just got to harness and channel that lightning in a bottle of, you know what we did game 1? Let's do that again. Let's do that. Exactly that.
That is a brilliant way to win. So for Flex Panther and their fans, I hope they're able to do it. That's going to do it here for us on Game 1. Gentlemen, I wish you both the best of luck in your games on the stream tonight. I will see you soon. To my friends in the Twitch chat, we're going to take a few minute break here, and then I will be back here as we head into our next game. So please stay tuned.
Nice.
What
What a wonderful cast. That went really well.
Yeah, I think it really well.
Yeah, that was yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
Yep.
Lol Mao. Hi, everybody.